Are we ready for our regular episode?
I think so.
Okay.
I have all this fur in my mouth now that, because I had chapstick on and I was molesting Cole.
Yeah.
Anyway, welcome to episode 102 of The Bar is Ankle High, your favorite ADHD podcast that explores life low bars with wit and wisdom. My name is Katie.
And I'm Garrett.
And...
Sorry. Immediately having outbursts where I'm making noises. Let me mute myself.
Yes. Yeah, so Garrett has a little bit of a cold. So she'll have some outbursts and sniffles this episode.
Just thriving.
Tune into Patreon. Yeah, if you want the details on Garrett's illness. But otherwise, yeah, we're back. And to start off this week's episode, first of all, I think it's probably worth mentioning, since we deal with healthcare issues quite a bit on this show, to mention the execution or assassination of the UHC CEO. I will say that I am just delighted by the internet's hot takes on it. I think it's absolutely hilarious. And
did you see that they had a lookalike contest in Washington Park in the city?
Oh my god!
Yes.
No.
Yes.
I saw one TikTok that was like,
"Never change New York City." Never.
It was like POV. Everybody in New York City right now being asked if they've seen, like, or being shown a picture of the assassin. Cuts this woman and she's like, smash.
Did you see too that they like went on with their meeting?
Oh yeah.
Like, bonkers. Just the whole thing
also,
was bonkers.
That they posted his job within 48 hours of the shooting.
It's that thing. It's that tweet that's like, hey, like if something happens to you tomorrow and you die, they're going to post your job before your funeral.
Yep.
And it's so true.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's such a good example of why you should stick it to the man. And
yeah. And also perhaps worth noting that if the NYPD spent more time actually investigating actual murders, they maybe wouldn't have been on a back foot trying to solve this one.
But what about the whole $10,000 that they're offering to people? $10,000. Like, isn't United Health is like the biggest carrier in the country?
That is the most depraved example of what they think of us that I could imagine. Mm-hmm. Between the NYPD and their budget and United Healthcare's budget and this man's personal family wealth.
Right.
$10,000 is what you came up with?
Right.
People, like, if you or I went missing, our families would post a $10,000 reward.
At least.
And we're normal people.
Right.
Sort of. And I mean,
I wouldn't call us neurotypical.
Yeah, we're not neurologically normal, but socially.
Maybe not even physically or socially normal. Okay, so maybe we're not the best example. We're certainly not running billion-dollar companies.
For sure.
Multi-billion-dollar companies.
And we haven't used AI to deny insurance claims like UHC has.
Crazy.
So
writing on the bullets, by the way.
I saw something that said deny, defend. What is it?
I don't remember.
Deny, defend, defund is the new live, laugh, love of the revolution. And I was like, oh, okay.
I love that. I saw somebody who said something to the effect of like this guy just walked out there, did it, hopped on a city bike and left. And they were like, this is literally a plot from Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah. Someone
You just
called
have
it
somebody just
Jason
away.
Bourne, like like it's like a treadstone assignment.
So crazy. That's a really crazy story. Mm-hmm. Really crazy story.
But it did, you know, because the next day, the day after that happened, or the same day, Blue Cross Blue Shield announced that they were going to stop covering anesthesia like midway through a surgery. Like they're going to decide how long your surgery should last, and if your surgery lasts longer, then they're not going to cover the cost of anesthesia. Yep. The same day or within 24 hours of this person being assassinated.
And they're like, just kidding. Just kidding. Hey, we're just kidding.
Well, but they the thing is that they made this announcement after the news of this assassination broke.
Yeah.
So you weren't
what
just
the fuck do you
kidding.
expect?
You really thought that it was going to go through, and people were like, did we stutter? Like what?
Yeah.
Not a single person. New York City is a city of 9 million people, and every single person was like, I don't know who that is. I've never seen that man before in my life. Yep. You're telling me that in 9 million people, no one's seen anything? Get out of here. Blue Cross Blue Shield fucked around and found out fast. And also our own governor, because it was also only 3 states. It was Missouri, New York, and Connecticut that this was going to go into effect for. So our governor was like, that will not be happening in New York State under any circumstances. And state employees are a huge base for Blue Cross Blue Shield in New York State. So it was just wild to me but it's more evidence that they'll try it. The $10,000 reward I thought was so indicative.
Yes.
Of how little they think of us.
Yes.
And also how bad things are for people. They thought that $10,000 was a tempting number.
Yeah.
And
meanwhile, how many people have had to claim bankruptcy over a $10,000 medical bill that United was like, oh, I'm sorry, no.
Oh, absolutely. The numbers on it are available.
Yeah.
It's in the thousands. So,
I listened to a thing. NPR had a guy who does he owns a company that does corporate security, and he was like, oh man, since this happened, I've gotten like 1,000,001 calls, and it's
what?
So instead of just doing better by people, we are paying for this security because we have guilty consciences. You know what I mean? And it's just don't fuck everybody over all the time. And I don't think you'll have to be afraid of that. But also, if we're going to go this French Revolution, beheading everybody type of route, maybe that's what needs to happen. We got all these Republicans in, maybe we just shit needs to hit the fan. I don't know.
I did.
I don't make these rules. Yeah. Everything's going to end in a threat today.
Great. I love it. I think it's we're on the cusp of something. I did say to my coworker, maybe now we'll actually get effective gun control in this country. Now that the rich people are at risk. But we'll see. I would rather we take out some billionaire people instead of a classroom of first graders. So
I would love to. This is one of the stories, if we don't find out what happens, when I die, that's what I want to find out.
Yeah.
That's one of the mysteries I want answered. Yeah. I want to know the whole plan. I want to know the whole story.
Apparently now the NYPD is in Atlanta chasing down leads. Which I, again, remind you, they would never do that for anyone else who got murdered, who's normal. So, just...
Although they might go all the way down to Atlanta to kill somebody who's unarmed, I don't think that they would...
they would go to Atlanta's Cop City.
Yes.
But, yeah.
What a
they wouldn't
time.
go
Yeah,
there to solve a crime.
Really, really crazy story.
That was why. I mean, it was the kind of thing like where the news alert came up and I was like, what? No, can't be. The CEO. Does the CEO still mean what I think it means, or does it mean something else? I don't know.
If it's your cat, it means Chief Excitement Officer. He just like came into the frame like really chaotically, like, and then jumped out of frame, and all I saw was his tail. It was great.
Yep, that's Cole.
I have this old cat stuffed animal that the baby has now taken a liking to. And I've literally had it since I was like 5. And I look at the baby monitor last night and she's sitting in bed. She's biting on its tail. And that
was really good ASMR with your teeth.
Oh, thank you. And the cat's like laying, like sticking out through the rungs, like, help me. Help. Like in Toy Story, the kids like wound up at Sid's house.
The or at the daycare when they go into the toddler room, and that's considered punishment.
Yeah, that's fair. That should be considered punishment.
You did send me a video of your child having dumped out a ball pit in your living room on Thursday night or Friday night.
Yeah. That was, we've been working on, I can hear her screaming right now. We've been working on, instead, because I read this thing that said, and I guess it kind of applies to ADHD too. It's like kids until they're like 3 or 4, they don't understand no. So like when you say like, don't do this, they're just hearing this. Like they're not understanding the subtlety to language of to not do that. So I try instead to, instead of don't go in there, it's let's close this up. So, instead of like, don't dump the balls out, I'm like, okay, let's put them back in. So we have this, you can buy, kids can have toys, but they're just going to play with like random shit. So like right now she's playing with a laundry basket that has a hairbrush in it. Of course. She also found a small plastic bucket that is like loving that right now. So we took the plastic bucket and I was putting balls in it and then dumping it into the thing, and saying that we were going to put them back in. And then she took the bucket from me and dumped them out on the floor. And I think it's just a good metaphor for how the last month of my life has been. Dumping all my balls on the floor. All what felt like 1,000 balls.
Yeah. Also, little footnote to that fun fact, folks. I got the baby that gift for her birthday. So that is a little bit my fault, but that was on your baby registry.
It was.
So
and
our fault.
I think it's actually the only time it's happened. It has not, like, obviously knock on wood, but generally she just goes for the belly flop right into the ball pit. But
I have a friend who had a ball pit she now has 4 kids, but I think back when she had 2-ish. And she had, she wouldn't put all the balls out that came in, the kit. She would only put, 10 or 15 out at a time because otherwise it got out of control really fast.
You should have seen when we moved. They picked up the couch and there was 50 balls under the couch. Just dusty ball
From that
balls.
or from your dogs?
No, from this. I find them everywhere. I find balls everywhere. I couldn't open our freezer the other day because this tiny wooden mallet that she had been playing with had gone under the fridge and was wedged under the freezer door. And then I open it, and there's also letters. I got her magnetic letters. There's also letters in the freezer.
Of course. They were in timeout. They know what they did.
Toddlers do really funny things.
I don't know. I think something that really sets off, speaking of ADHD, sets off my emotional dysregulation is when I'm trying to open a drawer and there's something in there that's not letting me open it. I don't know, like if I'm having a bad day, that's worse than like catching the loop of my pants on a doorknob or stubbing my toe. Like I will burn the house down. Like I have to actually like walk away if I am having a bad day and that happens.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
That's also when I like drop or spill something.
I got a waterproof slipcover for our couch.
Yep.
So now I have no regrets every time I spill my coffee on it. And PK
every time.
Oh, like every morning.
I spill my coffee on it.
Spill coffee on it.
Oh my God.
I just, there's no consequence. So it's perfect.
Cut to a video of you drinking coffee like, this is just so great. Like, flailing your arms around like a Muppet.
Yes.
Side note, I'm going to wait till I send you that letter of the day.
Okay.
From Sesame Street. I keep forgetting about it, but I'm going to send it to you.
Okay.
It slaps. It's just so good. It's just such a good song. Yes, I would say that is definitely an emotional, and that's one of those, like, sometimes, I guess now that we've done this podcast, I have a little bit more awareness of that. So sometimes I can be like,
yes. Yeah.
This is a dysregulated response because I am so mad and
because
overburdened in this moment.
If anyone listening has watched Inside Out 2, it's that feeling of the anxiety.
I haven't seen it yet.
You've got to watch it.
No, I know. It's on my...
It's the anxiety person. Like, as soon as it happens, if I'm like, meds have worn off, I'm in a bad spot, whatever. It's like that feeling of that little guy going haywire in my head where like I just have to get it out right now. And there's times where I'm aware that that's what's happening, but like that's the feeling in my brain. Like I just feel like I'm getting like scrambled. And
like that thing I sent you, my brain is scrambled eggs.
Yeah. That's how it feels. And it's like I can almost hear like ringing in my ears. I hate it so much. So if that was happening with my fridge, I would also have felt like I was going crazy, like because it's not where I would look for a child's mallet or frozen letters. So
there's a lot of things where they shouldn't be, but I think that like I'm trying to think how to describe it. Like it's I have this increased awareness from the podcast of like, okay, whew, I've hit my limit. Like I went to get the baby ready for bed and she was just, it was like 5:00, but this kid was like toast. She was like done, had to go to bed. So I'm literally bringing her up at 5:00. My mom was still working because she was working from here. Mm-hmm. And I walked past the room where she was working and I said, I'm done momming today. I was like, there is nothing left in me to mom with. Before I put this kid to bed. And I wouldn't have that awareness if we hadn't done this. Like, understanding now that, because part of what comes with, like, trying to, especially now at this phase she's in where she's a toddler, trying to teach her emotional regulation while I'm struggling with the dysregulation also. She's really gotten into this like phase where there's a lot of like slapping and headbutting. Or she'll like put her chin, like dig her chin into me. She doesn't bite, but she'll like put her.
I was just going to say, my brother used to bite a lot. He got bit by my mom a lot as a punishment to teach him not to bite because he like kept doing it and he would like bear down. I mean, he did it ever since he was a newborn. Like she couldn't nurse him because he would like bear down and like the pediatrician was like, this isn't normal.
Don't stop.
Like, we're not sure what's going on here.
Don't put your nipple there.
Yeah. Basically.
Don't put your nipple there.
She's like, but like on the one hand, she was like, thank God this wasn't my first kid. But also like, what the hell, man? And he would like with gums, like chew through the rubber nipples on bottles. Like, so
you
when
can't
he was
suck in your nipples, but if you could, that's what I just did. Just the
you
thought
have
of
inverted ones anyway. Yours are already
flat.
inside.
They're flat, okay?
Oh, okay.
But it's really hard. Like it's a really hard thing. I've been working on like, she gets really mad because she'll want to do something and I'm telling her she can't do it. And it's like, you have the same reaction when I tell you that and you try and bite me. And it's like, hey, you're allowed to be upset, but you're not allowed to hit anybody.
Next episode, I'm in the Hannibal Lecter mask.
And then you just resort to like sticking your chin into everybody. So for anybody else that is trying to teach another person emotional regulation right now, it's like the thing from Hunger Games.
Hunger Games, yeah the Mockingjay sign.
Yes.
Or
like, solidarity.
Isn't that also Girl Scouts?
I don't know. I wasn't a Girl Scout.
Me neither.
I was one of the only kids with a working mom, so I couldn't do Girl Scouts.
Yeah, I didn't do Girl Scouts either.
I would have been a fucking killer Girl Scout, though. Both of us would have been. We would have dominated Girl Scouts. I can only think of 2 people in my grade who did Girl Scouts. Oh, it was huge.
And they were insufferable. I know that the more people did it, because they talked, like, I was aware of other girls being in Girl Scouts, but the 2 I'm thinking of were like the 2 that would wear their vests to school, and they're insufferable. So, I don't know that I would have liked it. I would have been good at like 4-H, I think.
I would have loved 4-H too.
Yeah.
But again, like I had most of the kids I went to school with did not have working moms. So for, me to try and like do so, it just wasn't feasible.
Well, especially with nursing, it's not like our jobs, like working in the public sector.
Right.
We can.
We're out.
Yeah.
Right. Same time every day.
Same time every day, but it's also easy to be like, oh, there's an assembly at school at noon. Right. So I'm just going to work half a day. Like, that's not a thing when you're a nurse. So,
no.
So, it's just a different way of dealing with it, which is also probably tune into Patreon, but probably also why I didn't take my temperature yesterday, because it was like, I wasn't flushed.
And according to my Girl Scout first aid book that I read in my 30s, I didn't need to be worried about it.
Well, the thing is...
Listen, at this point, if you have fever questions, I've been dealing with fevers more than any one person should the last 2 months. So just let me know. No, really don't, though, because I don't. There's no rhyme or reason.
Don't talk to me about it. I never want to hear about a fever ever again.
Yeah, just kidding. Don't mention it to me.
Real quick. Hold on here.
I won't hold on.
Do it.
Also, it's almost Katie's birthday.
It's almost my birthday. When this comes out, I'll already be old.
She's going to turn into a Christmas worm this year for her birthday. And we just passed the 1 year from her wedding day.
Yes,
recently.
We did. We're officially less than 1 year out. Also, welcome to Angelica Lopez, our newest Patreon member.
Welcome!
I needed to look up your name, which is why I was quiet for a second.
Oh, I thought you were looking up that thing from Jamie.
No, I meant to mention it last week and then forgot, so I wanted to make sure that I mentioned
We're really
Angelica.
good at this.
Yes, I'm super on top of it.
Is it Angela or Angelica?
Angelica.
Angelica. Welcome, Angelica. Also, do you have blonde pigtails like Angelica from Rugrats? Inquiring minds.
Oh, I was like, I don't know that those were pigtails. I was thinking of Cynthia. The doll.
The funny thing is, I was going to mention Cynthia, but I couldn't remember her name. So I like how each of us had a piece of it, but neither of us had the full picture. Yeah. Good God.
Yeah, we're good at this.
We're so good at this. I did start today by telling Katie I was pouring from an empty cup today. I was like, I got nothing.
That's okay.
I got nothing. There's no sleep.
Yeah, no. So I was scrolling Instagram this morning, and our good friend Jamie, the neurodivergent nurse, had a post in her stories where she was asking, like, who do you think is more likely to engage in risky behavior, men with ADHD or women with ADHD? And I voted for women based on my history. What I did in my ute.
And my thought was, I'm just going to say men. Just because I'm lately feeling very much like men.
Enough.
So, yeah.
No, I voted for women, and it was like 42% to the rest being for men. And so I was like, okay, like sort of even, whatever. But then the next slide was this post that she had about a new study showing that women with ADHD engage in riskier behaviors than their male counterparts. And they think it's because emotional and decision-making differences between the two genders or sexes, whereas men are more likely to engage in hyperactive and impulsive behavior and therefore are easier to diagnose earlier. Women engage in emotional dysregulation and internalized symptoms of anxiety and depression and are usually diagnosed later in life. So...
Oh, the late diagnosis. That's got to be a huge factor in that behavior.
I would think so. I mean,
Huge.
I think when it comes to anything like that, like my mom, like, okay, so my mom has had like small cell skin cancers on her face, on her back, whatever. She was a teenager in the 70s, so she was using baby oil and tanning at the beach.
In the sun.
Yeah,
Like a turkey.
and however, by the time I was like, I must have been like 5 or 6, she had a bigger basal cell carcinoma taken out of her upper lip on her face. And so she's extremely conscientious about wearing sunblock. And we are always wearing sunblock. She still wears, like she golfs avidly, but she wears like sleeves that are like
UV.
UPF or whatever.
Yeah.
She's always covered. She uses like solid zinc mineral sunscreen.
She
like
definitely does. I've seen it.
Yes.
She looks like she's been dipped in Desitin when she goes outside.
Yeah, because it doesn't exactly absorb into your skin.
Yeah, no. It works. It works.
But it's that thing where, like, once you know about it, you do better.
yes,
and,
right.
So I think, and it's not that she wasn't reckless as a young adult or a person with children. It was just that it didn't affect her as deeply as it would have when it was like, okay, well, when you hear the cancer word, things become a lot more real. And I think it's similar with like an ADHD diagnosis, because it's that thing of, it's not just the drawer won't open and I'm freaking out because there's something wrong with me. But like, you know, I'm freaking out because there's this emotional response, which if you have that kind of emotional response to certain things, you're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place sometimes, which to get that dopamine hit, if you're like, I know that we've talked about in a previous episode, but like saving an ex's number in your phone as do not answer, or certain things like that, where it's like you have to, because otherwise you know that they're bad for you and you may continue to engage with somebody who is emotionally not great for you, physically not great for you, is kind of just a deadbeat.
Did it give examples of like the types of risky behavior? Because I do wonder if like women's risky behavior, or like AFAB risky behavior, is different than men's risky behavior.
Well, according to Jamie's post, the study played the balloon analog risk task called BART. You inflate balloons for potential cash. The bigger balloon gives you more money, but there's a bigger risk of popping. Women with ADHD took riskier decisions even when it cost them. So like if the balloon pops, you get no money.
I'm literally picturing you standing underneath a blimp. Like,
more.
yes. Bigger.
Worst case scenario, I get to take the coolest shower of my life. So when the money rains down, obviously.
There we go. Yeah, there we go. There it is. At first I was like, there's water in this balloon? I thought there was money. We'll get there. We'll get there.
It's a golden shower? Again, tune into Patreon. Golden
showers.
Well, we were talking about different ways to pee. And
oh yeah.
So anyway,
so it was like this wasn't like anecdotal. This was like a study of.
Yes, so the study was comparing women with ADHD and men with ADHD.
Yeah.
The women with ADHD were taking this riskier behavior, inflating the balloons.
I'm so surprised.
Me too. But apparently this, according to one of Jamie's slides, women with ADHD are less aware of their own risky behavior and tend to ignore feedback loops that could steer them away from danger, which
I don't know what that's talking about at all. In
yeah,
fact,
I would
hate it.
direct you to episodes 29 and 30, I think, the bears one, where we talk about maybe being in unhealthy relationships. Oh my God, speaking of bears, I saw a thing. Somebody sent this to us, and I don't know if you've seen it yet, but it was like somebody...
Probably not, because I've been really bad with checking messages lately.
It was somebody responding to a comment where it was like something to the effect of like, you want us to think that you're not a slut, but you'd still get railed by a bear. And so the reply was like, do you think women were choosing the bear for sex?
Yeah.
Like, is that why men got so mad? Because they thought they now had to compete against the animal kingdom for intercourse?
That's like one of the fucking stupidest things.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It was wild.
Getting railed by a bear?
It was something to that, like, it wasn't exactly that verbiage,
right, but they thought...
Yeah, and the person replying was like, is that what you thought we were talking about?
It's going to be a long 4 years.
Oh, man.
It's going to be really fucking long 4 years. Well, I'm really surprised by that study because I definitely would have guessed. It is kind of funny, the lack of like self-awareness.
I get it though, because again, I think if you're not diagnosed,
that's a big factor, is the lack of diagnosis.
Yes.
Because it's truly like the devil you know versus the devil you don't. Like when you're undiagnosed, you're just like, what's wrong with me? Like and I think also so bad at these things.
And I think for really anybody with ADHD or anyone who's neurodivergent, you're like trying to get it right. And because so much of what we were dealing with was internalized, it's like, okay, I just have to do this perfectly. Yeah. And so you'll keep trying, ignoring those negative feedback loops, because it's like the thought of like, oh, I can get this perfect. I can do this like with a score of 100. Yeah. And so even though you're risking it all, you might, like, you could have a little if you just didn't take such a big risk. So it makes sense, but I don't know if the study like got that far into it. But like when I think about, especially when I'm being really hard on myself, it's because I want to be perfect, and I want to be perfect. It's not like anybody else is telling me I have to be perfect or right.
Yeah, that's really, I'm like thinking about that a lot now, because I do wonder if men's risky behavior, like when they're talking impulsive, like I'm thinking about like Jackass, right? Like just stupid stuff for the sake of, I don't know, bros, LOLs is kind of what I'm picturing. And like my friends growing up when I was a teenager, like constantly just doing like boy things, like where they're jumping off of stuff and trying to do a backflip and wrestling each other and all of that. Like I feel like that is all impulsive and something about fidgeting. I do feel like that's like you got to get the weird out. You just got to do something weird to get the weird out. Like that's how I view that. And then I'm wondering, is women's more like self-destructive? Like, you know, I'm dating somebody who's bad for me, or I'm like, I think back now about like how I was with personal safety, like when I was out dating, you know, like meeting people in the evening,
oh, for sure.
Walking them, they're like walking me to my car and it's not well lit and I don't really know them. You know what I mean? Like I think about stuff like that. And then people, you know, are like, oh, you know, do you know, blah, blah, blah. And it was one of those like, oh my gosh, like you're so over the top about, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, part of it, I think, is also just general youth, where like any young person does feel invincible and think that they're invincible doing certain things. And I'm certain that I've come across this way with my little sisters, because they're 8 and 10 years younger than me. And I'm certain that I've come across as being like a little bit preachy sometimes, but like, I don't know, I'd rather you hear it once and maybe it doesn't resonate right now, but maybe a little while later it will. Yeah. Like, I don't know.
And my fear is always, is anyone else saying these things to you? Like, if I'm... And
especially if you're only around people your own age.
Right. Or if you're only around people who have had similar experiences to you.
Right.
Like I have been the person since I was coming up on 30 probably, who like would be in the bathroom seeing the girl. I remember a girl being like, he just hasn't texted me back. And she was really upset about it. And my autism decided to stop and be like, listen to me. Who gives a fuck about him? Like, literally delete him from your phone, pretend like he never existed.
You're like, come home with me. I'm a baby, like, bye.
It was not predatory. It was literally me being like, hey, speaking from experience, when I think about like dudes who I gave the time of day.
Oh, for sure.
And now I'm like, ugh. I can't believe I was like waiting on a response from that dusty dude.
One of my sisters broke up with a guy like a couple months ago now, I think. But when she told me, I was like, yeah, he was pretty ugly anyway, so you're fine.
Fucking brutal.
Like, it's for the best, but it's like, what? I'm not going to say that to you while you're dating him. Like, that's so mean. But it's like, yeah,
but
he's
after
not
you break
attractive.
up, I'm definitely going to tell you.
Oh, I'm going to roast the fuck out of your exes. You can bet on it.
I do wonder too if like the risky behavior is it generally risky behavior, or is it like risky for this person? Like I feel like everybody's kind of got like a spectrum of what normal behavior is for them, what typical behavior is for them. You know,
well, sure. I'm sure it's affected by like upbringing and your personal experiences, because like you look
risky for me is maybe not telling somebody I'm going on a date, versus risky for somebody else might be like, well, we only shared the needle once. You know what I mean?
Well, right. Like I'm thinking of like in Breaking Bad, like risky for Walter White was going away for a weekend.
Right.
And not to the place that he told his wife he was going.
Yeah.
Risky for Jesse Pinkman was
everything.
Not really. It. Like it took a while for him to be like, that's a bad idea.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like, he went pretty deep before it was like, I don't wanna. That's bad. Don't do that.
Yeah.
So like it's that sort of thing where, yeah, I would think that it is a spectrum and it is relative. But I also think like those studies that I think like that, they gamify the test. So it eliminates those factors. Like, it's just, you have this one goal, which again, for most risk taking, you do a very quick cost benefit analysis in your head. So like whether it's choosing to cook meth in a RV that you bought for $8,000 with your retirement savings, or run from the DEA and jump off of a roof, you are making a cost benefit analysis. Would I run from the DEA? No. I'd probably be more curious why they were at my house to begin with, but it's that thing, that tweet that's like, travel tip, bring cocaine to the airport so you can pet the dogs.
That's one of those, like, when Katie starts going with it, you just let her keep going and see where it ends up.
Yeah.
You just sit there like...
Speaking of that video, we got the comment said, wait, so men doing turkeys is wrong, but women letting a bear hit it is not? Women logic, ... Which we talked about last week.
Yeah, that was an interesting study that they did. And I do think that now that people won't go ahead and shut up about it, there is going to be some more studies done on ADHD, especially in women.
Which will probably, I would assume, help with diagnosis sooner.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see, like, some of the stuff that comes out and some of the data that's going to come out from that, and what it'll shine light on. Because I mean, even with this podcast, like, we were trying our best to research stuff, but we're still kind of flying blind. Like,
yeah, we aren't scientists.
No information on this.
We don't have scientific backgrounds. No. We're not running studies on our own. That's for damn sure. No, and also not having a scientific background, trying to read a scientific study, you never know what you're going to get sometimes. But I do think that it'll be interesting to see, like, how that information develops over time too, because I'm very surprised with the results. Me too. Of that. I would like to play that game though. That'd be fun. Yeah, can I get the money at the end? Can it be more than $10,000? See, this is why, like, if I were to go to a carnival that wasn't overly populated, and like had unlimited tokens or tickets or whatever, I would have so much fun with all the carnival games. I think they're just fun. Isn't that what Dave and Buster's is? Well, yeah, but you have to pay. And it's super crowded. And it smells like teenagers' feet. Ew. Yeah. I hate it smells all those things. Musty. Because it's all just sweaty children who don't have BO yet, so there's just that sweat. Ew. And like carpeting. Yeah, and it's carpeted. Yeah. Ew. How's wedding planning going on that note? Good. I did text you this to remind me. So this past week I booked our hotel rooms with the hotel where we have a block. The block isn't live yet. But they were like, because you're with, like, you've booked the block, you can reserve your rooms early to make sure that your rooms are set. So anyway, we're getting 2 rooms, so that you and I, and then PK and his groomsmen can get ready at the hotel and not have to, like, worry about traveling, whatever. So, I had to call though over the phone. I couldn't do it online, which was fine. I know. I don't know what got into me, but I was fine calling. So I called. Actually, yeah, I can't tell you how many phone calls I had to make the last week for somebody who just hates making phone calls, and it was just, like, constant. So yeah. Yeah. Sometimes it do be like that. Yeah. So, and I did want to make sure that we had the rooms that we wanted. So whatever. In any event, so I'm on the phone and I'm, like, giving the guy my information, and then I go and I, like, read off the card information for him, and then he's like, okay, and the reservation is under, you said your name's Michelle? And I was like, Catherine? And I was just like, okay. And I had already been on the phone with this guy for like 10 minutes. Yeah. So I was like, okay. But the weirdest part about that is that, not that Michelle and Catherine sound nothing alike, but it's that Michelle is my stepmother's name.
That is weird.
It was so random. Like, of all the names, I was like, okay, so I'm assuming that there was somebody in the background that said that name, and that's why, like, he picked it up. I'm guessing. But it was just ADHD, like, so random.
Like, I remember in school that happening to me as an ADHD thing. Like,
that
a teacher would be talking while I was
time.
working. You know, they're like talking to the class, and then I would start writing down what they were saying instead of what I was.
Yes.
Also, why are you making us do that? But anyway.
Yeah.
No, I've done that. Like, you know, definitely hearing it and then writing it down and then.
Yes.
Or getting it in my head that that's what something is called, and then I can't.
Yeah. Like Flappy Doodles, for example.
Flappy Doodles.
But yeah, so no, my name's not Michelle. But we have our hotels, our hotel rooms booked, ordered my shoes. So I'm pretty much all done.
That's nuts.
I think with wedding planning until I do my trial for makeup and hair. And then PK has to get suits, so he'll text your spouse about when they're going to go to Men's Warehouse someday.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But probably not until the spring, I would think.
Yeah.
Maybe even June to get past the prom thing.
Yeah, actually, that's probably smart.
Yeah.
Because even then, even if they do it over the summer, they've got plenty of time.
Plenty of time.
I mean, you've got... You're
I don't even
the
think...
opposite of the ADHD procrastination. So...
it's true.
Here, there's all this wedding stuff going on, and I said to Katie, I was like, well, how about we eat a bunch of edibles and get a massage, and that's a bachelorette party. And she was like, cool! And that's the extent of my contribution to wedding planning.
I'm pretty pumped for that, though. Like, massages, facials, hot tub, whatever the fuck they have at that place.
Couldn't be more excited.
I did order a micro needling roller thing for my face to help with, age progression shit. Because I don't want to pay for a micro needling facial.
Did
like
I send you?
$500.
Did I send you the video of the lady who does the massage on her, with all the massage on her face?
Who does the massage with all the massage on her face?
Yeah, all the massage right on her face.
No, I don't know that you did.
Empty cup, okay? Remember I was telling you that lady does, she does like all types of like
the like lymphatic
muscles.
No,
yeah.
You told me about it, but you didn't send me.
I'll send it to you.
I don't think anyway.
It's like 10 minutes, and she says that it's like having a facelift almost.
Oh.
Even then, it does help like depuff my face. So I'll send that to you. I'll remember to send you the massage of the face all over the face for you.
Yeah, I also did get it's like a 1 minute mani like nail scrub almost to like get ridges and stuff out of your nails, but it also helps like whiten and even out your nail tone. So I'm working on just like
for your nails.
I don't know. I don't know. I might just grow them out and do like a simple gel mani. I don't know that I'm going to do like something super crazy. Because then it's also that thing of like having like at any point, like no matter what, your wedding's going to look dated.
Right.
No matter what you do.
Yeah.
Right. But there's like certain things that I don't want to be like exceedingly obvious.
Yeah.
And trendy, and nails is one of them.
Yeah.
Because there'll be plenty of photos of my hands and our hands and like whatever. And so I'm going to try to grow them naturally as far as they can go, and hopefully just have like a nice pseudo natural mani. Like if my nails could look like your nails when you were pregnant, that'd be great.
Oh, I had great hair and nails when I was pregnant. I had my pregnancy hair was just like so good.
Oh yeah, you were a bombshell.
Yeah, I was before I was waddling. My hair was great.
I just always picture or think of that picture of you in the labor and delivery where you're like in the gown and you look so irritated. You're like standing with your hands on your low back and you're just like Get that out of my fucking face.
There had been, I had already waddled my way, although it was so funny. We were in the elevator. We were looking for labor and delivery, and I'm walking, and like, I was having contractions. Like, I'm walking, and I'm like, because it's like the more you move, it like spurs them. And she looked like she was maybe a nurse. She stopped and she was like, labor and delivery? I was like, yeah. She was like, okay, you go here and then here. I was like,
I mean, there was no doubting that you were pregnant, so there's that. Speaking of blimps.
Yes.
Your stomach was like 3 feet out.
It was so far. God, I think about that and I'm just like, the thought of ever having to be terminally pregnant again is just horrifying.
Yeah. Just wait till it's half cooked and squeeze it out and it'll be fine. I'm pretty sure we talked about that on Patreon.
Yeah, I'm sure we did too. Well, I'm glad the wedding plan is going so well. And that you're accomplishing all of these things. Now, is this mostly like a refocus because the world's ending?
No.
I'm sorry that you're getting married during Trump years.
Yeah, me too.
I'm sorry to hear that. I was actually married during the Obama administration.
Eat shit. So, yeah. So
got me there.
Made her have a coughing fit, everybody.
Doesn't take much, but she did.
That's true. Yeah, no, that's a big bummer. We do have to figure out when we're gonna go shopping for your dress or whatever you're doing for that.
Oh yeah, I gotta figure it out.
I don't need to be a part of it if you don't want me to be, but
I don't know what I'm gonna. I'm still trying to figure out, like, because the way I carry weight is so different than it used to be. I'm still trying to figure out, like, all the cuts of things I have to get are different. So, I have to, like, figure out what cut is gonna work.
Yeah.
What about a jumpsuit?
You could do that. There's cute ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll do that.
The only thing is that you will get fully naked when you have to go to the bathroom. But
that's a good point. I didn't know where you were going with that when it started. I was like,
during the ceremony.
You can do a
before
jumpsuit,
you do your political sorting hat. You just strip down.
I hadn't considered that. That's true. That's a good point.
But I mean, yeah, it's like normal bathroom situation. It's not like we're in a field or something. You're not being given a gravy boat, so
or a corn cob.
Yeah,
or a
preserved or not,
whatever that other thing was.
Yeah,
I know it's not mycelium, but my brain is saying mycelium.
Yeah, I know the same. Or that
maybe corn
it's like
husks.
A skincare brand. It's like Miele or something.
Murad?
No, it's like Miele or something.
Yeah, or M.
It's probably pronounced like Mile. Yeah.
Or it's like Mil. And this whole time we're like,
They're like, it's French, you uncultured dipshit.
Just like the rock pussy is French.
Yes.
If you're putting the rock pussy on your face.
Well, maybe during our bachelorette party.
Realistically, what will happen?
The hot stone massage.
Is I will get a massage and fall asleep.
Yeah.
And apologies in advance to whoever gives me a massage because I'm very vocal during a massage. But I also give a lot of positive reinforcement. So.
I would think, yeah.
Katie's like, I can't wait.
We'll be in separate rooms, right?
She's like, we don't have to get a couples massage.
Yeah, I don't really want to be in a front row seat to your sex noises.
Sorry. At least I won't bust them out for the ceremony. That's the most important part.
No, a jumpsuit would look really cool. I think it's a fun idea.
It would look cool. I'll have to see what I can find.
Yeah. There's definitely ones available. I'll see what I can find too. Because then you could also wear a normal bra.
Yeah. See, that's the other tough thing.
Yeah.
Is I see some of these and I'm like, ooh, I love that. But then I'm like, why does it not have a back?
The only reason that I even have contemplated a strapless wedding dress is because I know that they'll like basically have like a Terminator style support system built into it.
Yeah. I had that and then they sewed me into it.
Well, yeah.
It was falling down.
You made different choices on your wedding. Bless you.
There was definitely choices. Thank you. There's definitely some choices made. But the good news is Katie has me the whole time to go, okay, just make sure you don't do this. Because that's what I did, and it was terrible.
That's true. I think actually this weekend, well, see, that's the only thing that's like kind of annoying is that really all I have left to do is like seating chart stuff.
Oh,
so
you can't really do that till you know who's
exactly. So I have we got the magnetic strips to hold the photo booth strips, but I'm going to use those as the place card thingies.
Oh yeah.
But put something in it that has the person's name and then perhaps a menu or a quick thanks for being here, something or other.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't really do that until I know who's coming.
We did, we just told people what table to sit at, and then they picked their seat at the table.
Well, yeah, that's what I don't know what it's called when you just have the table assignments. That's what I mean.
I don't remember.
I haven't had an assigned seat. I've only been to weddings where it's a
fully assigned
Katie,
seat.
table 8 or something.
Yeah.
No, I haven't had a fully assigned seat. I've just had an assigned table. I think it's weird to do assigned seating.
It's excessive, I feel like.
I mean, unless you're like the royal family and there's weird archaic etiquette rules about not sitting next to your spouse or some bullshit.
Yeah.
During a dinner party.
Walk 5 steps behind them the whole time you're there and then.
Yeah, in Pride and Prejudice when Angry Duchess lady was like, you can't sit next to your wife. Move over there.
Do you have any other lines from Pride and Prejudice that you liked?
Yeah, I'm 27. I have no prospects and I'm already a burden to my parents. That's what her friend says when she decides to marry Elizabeth's cousin, Mr. Collins.
That voice again.
Oh. No.
I love that you thought about that. Oh. No.
I don't have any more lines.
That's all I got.
It's just her and I can't remember her name. She's not a duchess, but she was Mr. Darcy's aunt. Yeah, she's somebody of nobility.
I don't know. To me, all the names in all of the Jane Austen sounded the same.
I mean, yes, that's...
Yeah.
Especially Elizabeth. The men's names, because as we know, all men are interchangeable.
Willoughby. Yeah.
Willoughby.
Wasn't Willoughby one of them?
Mr. Wickham. He was the trifling fuckboy. Bingley was the maybe the other one you're thinking.
No, I think I might be thinking of Sense and
Jesus,
Sensibility.
Coco.
Oh my God.
So, the office door is closed and we have the baby gate, and in the baby gate there's a little cat door. So the office door busted open and the gate was shut but not latched, and so her head was through the cat door. Once the main door opened, she tried to get her head out but was lifting up, so she got stuck in the door. There's a lot of noises. Yes, very much like the lizard
Frank. Yeah.
Yes.
From Rescuers Down Under.
Yes.
And he sticks his head through the jail bars.
Yes.
To get the keys, and then he fans his thing out. I'm stuck. I'm stuck.
Speaking of emotional dysregulation.
Oh, yeah, that's a good example of emotional dysregulation.
And he has his little tail in the thing. He's trying to pick the lock. So good.
That's a good one.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, folks. We love you and miss you. If you want to join our Patreon like Angelica, you can go to patreon.com.
Because I'm convinced that we have a Cynthia who's also one of our patronesses.
Good for you.
Thanks.
Then you can go to patreon.com/thebarisAnkleHigh. You can also give the gift of a Patreon membership this holiday season at patreon.com/thebarisAnkleHigh/gift. But fun note, Apple being Apple, I would encourage you, if you're going to join Patreon, do it via a desktop website, not the Patreon app. Because if you do it from your iPhone, Apple, through the App Store, imposes a surcharge. So you ultimately end up paying more than you would if you just join through the website.
That's wild.
So, yes. Any subscriptions on your Apple iPhone, actually, that has been added on.
What?
So, so go to, use your work internet and go to patreon.com.
After you Google about old-timey toilet papers. After. Just, but you can't hit your quota. You have to stay underneath your limit for Google.
Yeah. Yeah. So, judiciously use that incognito tab and, go from there. But you can also make sure you're following us on Instagram and Facebook at The Bar is Ankle High. We are also on TikTok at Ankle High Pod. I share clips of the show, like video clips, obviously. I also share shit about my life and what's going on personally, because I'm not going to maintain 2 TikTok accounts. And yeah, if you see something about ADHD that you think is interesting that you want to hear us discuss on the pod, you can either actually the best way to do that would be to go to our website, thebarisanklehigh.com. Under the Contact Us tab, there's a form you can fill out and put the link to whatever it is you want us to discuss in that. And that way we'll have it in our email and it'll just be easier to keep track of that way. Oh, and we have merch at bit.ly/anklehighmerch. You can get stickers and pins and mugs and all sorts of crap there. Do it. I mean, soon there's going to be tariffs, so I have no idea what they're going to cost. Soon.
That's right.
Soon it's going to be expensive, so definitely stock up now.
And sign up for our Patreon, because, the only way we're getting through the next 4 years is to solve, teamwork.
These therapy sessions.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a fact. So, anyway, until next week.
Don't forget your gravy boat.
That's for Patreon.
Oh. Until next time, I hope nobody else is pouring from an empty cup. Don't pour from an empty cup. Go take a nap.
Take a nap. Because the bar is ankle high.
Bye.
Bye.